Now, after at least 7 drones were spotted for 4 consecutive days, an anti-drone system has now been installed at the Indian Air Force station in Jammu. The NIA, which is currently probing the drone strike case, has intensified its probe and will be recording the statements of 2 Jawans who claim to have witnessed these drones dropping these explosives. Here's more on that.
"4 days, 7 drones. The threat is real and escalating. The Indian security grid is on its toes ever since suspected Pakistan-sponsored terrorist in Jammu turned to high-tech terror. After mini drones dropped explosives targeting an Indian Air Force base in Jammu and many similar attempts over the last few days, the counter plan to deal with the threat is ready. Sources say an anti-drone system has been deployed by the National Security Guard at the Air Force station in Jammu. This includes both offensive and defensive mechanism. The forces will use electro-optic system for high-tech surveillance. The forces have also deployed radio frequency detector, soft jammers and anti-drone guns to neutralize any future threat. Meanwhile, the NIA, which is probing Jammu drone attacks, will record statements of 2 Jawans, an airman and a Defence Security Corps sentry, who claim to have seen the drones that dropped explosives on the airbase in Jammu. Sources say the drones used in the attack by terrorists are small quadcopters, and it is possible they took off from close proximity of the airbase. With drone terror threat escalating and emerging as a big challenge, the security agencies are leaving no stone unturned to secure the country's big cities and primary security and civil installations. As Independence Day approaches, the anti-drone system developed by DRDO has been deployed near Red Fort. The system can detect and jam micro-drones up to 3 kilometers. This shield system uses laser to bring down a target. Over the past few years, terrorists in Syria, Iraq and Afghanistan have been using mini drones for terror, but India was immune to it so far. Now that the threat is finally here, the security establishment is acting swiftly to neutralize any attack from the skies. Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, terrorists using a drone in India marks a paradigm shift in India's war on terror. Now, protecting vital assets and points is not just about erecting high perimeter walls and sentry posts. In fact, the clear and present danger is now from the skies. The threat is not restricted to military convoys or camps in Jammu and Kashmir, but spread almost across the country like cricket stadiums, malls, markets, temples, the stock exchange. And protecting every vital asset or point is now easier said than done. Here's more on that.
You've been watching the news of the mini drone attacks in Jammu. Dinky little plastic drones triggering a state of high alert. Bits of plastic, sparking fear and terror in an age of high-tech warfare. But you're probably also thinking, can't India also conduct mini drone strikes? The simple theoretical answer is yes. Converting a hobby drone into a grenade carrier isn't a complicated task and can be done at low cost without much effort. These silent killers are hard to detect and neutralize in time and can be used to wage war with plausible deniability. But if your question is whether India conducts such mini drone strikes already, well, that's where things begin to blur. Let's tell you what we know for sure. For starters, like we said, rigging an IED or grenade to a drone isn't difficult. Several medium performance hobby drones can easily be integrated for such tasks. Second, Indian forces have been scouting mini drones purpose-built for such strikes, like the Israeli Firefly seen in these pictures, a helicopter-style mini drone packing a sensor and warhead basically used by infantry teams to hunt down, pinpoint and attack kamikaze style. These devastating drones have recently been ordered by the Israeli Defense Forces and could soon find a place with Indian infantry teams. And finally, Indian drone companies, which already supply high-quality drones to the Indian military, are looking to offer armed varieties of their quadcopters, giving the military the option of purchasing specialized, tiny hunter-killers.
There are multiple things shift. So there are various category of armed drones that will be required, and there are reports that a significantly large number is going to be required. However, as a company, Idea Forge is probably not going to look at arming them ourselves. At the very best, we may look at partnering with people who want to, put such payload. Now, whether do we have payload capability or not, we do have payload capability on some of our systems. However, we are probably only looking at partnerships in that domain. So we're going to be exploring this via partners.
The utility of drone attacks like these is they're difficult to trace back and provide a compelling low-investment effect on the adversary. Whether India will deploy such tactics remains to be seen. Bureau Report, India Today.